America versus Russia, asking men if they would provide for their woman.
Well, it just depends, Number one, why would I? But what is she doing while I'm working?
You know how fucking dumb that sounds?
It's kind of like each relationship now is a 50-50. It's kind of like each relationship now is a 50-50.
Хочется работать, если ей не хочется самореализовываться, ей приятно находиться на моем содержании, почему нет, я могу себе это позволить.
I would. I would probably inspire her to work, just so I can see that there is some motive going in her future.
Жизнь, моя жизненная ситуация устраивает, и я живу с девушкой, я ее содержу.
Она должна другие функции выполнять, а мужчина на своем месте всегда.
Russian versus American men. Are you ready to pay for everything if your wife doesn't want to work?
Готов, без проблем, да.
I don't think so. Not 100%.
Если отношения, то, конечно, мне кажется, она будет просто зарабатывать и тратить деньги на свои, на какие-нибудь хотелки, а я буду закрывать семейные расходы.
I don't think so. It's not super attractive when someone's not really motivated to do something.
Это на ее чистое усмотрение. Хочет, пусть работает. Самое главное, чтобы это не мешало воспитанию наших детей.
If I had the means to do so, maybe. But if she just didn't want to work, I don't know.
Я это делаю. Я больше вес имею в определении, что мы покупаем, что нет, потому что я приношу большую часть денег. Если она захочет, мы обсудим.
В финансовом плане готов, если девушка этого заслуживает, и к моему успеху она пришла. Не сразу вот я...
Russian versus American men. Who pays when you take a girl on vacation?
Вообще такое даже в голову не приходит. Конечно, мужчина. Мне тоже...
Who invited who is the question. Okay. If a girl invites you, she should, be expected to pay for something. But if you invited her, it's probably implied.
Сначала мужик должен платить за все, чтобы себя не чувствовать, и чтобы ему не сказали ни в коем случае, что он альфонс.
But if it was something that was kind of spontaneous or something, they were like, hey, let's go do this. I think both parties contributing to the entire trip is definitely something that's an awesome thing to do together.
Свою супругу или девушку это гораздо приятнее, даже эмоционально.
Depends on what your relationship dynamic is, really. So if you're in it together, you both split that on what you agree on.
Однозначно. Это вопросы, в общем-то, совершенно не ко мне, да.
Say 75-25. I'm not saying it can't be split halfway, but most of the time it's chivalry.
Я всегда плачу. Женщина помогает мне зарабатывать деньги. Вдохновляет.
3 reasons Eastern European men are better than Americans. They know how to buy flowers and gifts on every holiday, but in America it's like their mom didn't teach them how to be a man. He'll never let you pay for dinner or your food. There is no such a thing as splitting a bill where you come from, or else it means the man wants to be just friends. He always order an Uber because if I have to drive, I don't have a time to look this good.
Things that Eastern European men think are bare minimum in dating, that would give an American man a heart attack. Starting off strong with picking you up and dropping you off every single time. Or if he can't do it himself, he will always order you a car. There's no, here's my Venmo or let's split the bill. Number 2 is to bring flowers to your mom. Obviously, Eastern European men, they give you flowers so much more often than typical American men, but they also do it to your mom because it's also an act of respect. Eastern European men, they can literally look at you and tell you, change your outfit. I don't like, you're not going like that anywhere with me. Jealousy that is mildly toxic, but it's actually super flattering. I mean, I'm sorry, not all the time, but sometimes it's hot. It's not because he doesn't trust you, it's because you are his pride. Feeding you like life depends on it. Usually when you go on a date with an Eastern European man, he doesn't order 1 meal or 2. He's like feeding you because it's their love language. They want to know that you're full and that you're safe with them. Yeah. Meanwhile, Chad from Texas is typing me, what's up, where you at?
Dating in Europe is definitely different from dating in the States. This is another culture shock I experienced while living in Spain. European men are exactly how they seem on the movie. They will definitely wine and dine you. They could literally wine and dine you and still be treating you like trash though. Side note, I legit met my ex-boyfriend and 3 days later, we were on a date, a vacation date in the south of Spain. Now you see, this is completely different than the dating pool out here in the States. Like I swear these men will be like, they'll literally invite you on a date and then expect you to pay. Like all the dates I've been on in Spain have always been dates. out of the city in another place. They've always been. Or they'll be out to dinner. They do not expect you to open your car door. The men just treat you completely different. Like, I don't know what's in the water over there, but it's very easy to fall in love. And I've dealt with many different types of European men. Like, I swear the men here in the States will literally be like, yeah, and just expect you to just, like, you know, go home with them. But the men in Spain, the men in Europe, they will make such intense eye contact with you that you literally melt. Like, who are you? And what did you just do to me? Also, like the men here are very direct and like, yeah, you want to go home with me? You want to do this? You want to do that? No. The men in Spain are very much so, they say things without directly saying them and will have you like, does this man like me or is he playing games? Like, I can't even begin to explain. That was definitely crazy for me. And 9 times out of 10, I wanted them to just come out and say it. But do you like me or not? Do you like me or not? Are you playing games with me or do you want me? Like, it's definitely a thing for them. And I don't know if it's because they don't want to come off too strong or what it is. But once you guys have gotten past the point that they like you, oh yeah, you're gonna have a ball.
If you are an American girl and you are struggling in dating right now, this is your sign to get to Europe immediately. I'm not joking. The men move differently here. It is and forever will be the European men for me. Listen to this. I just touched down in Lisbon, Portugal about 24 hours ago, and I went on a date last night with a French man, and he was super sweet, super nice, showed me all of Lisbon. We were talking on our date, and he was asking me questions to get to know me, which is, first of all, unheard of in America. Asking if I like coffee, and I'm like, no, not my thing, but I do love matcha, and I also really love croissant. I didn't think anything of it. I'm at my apartment right now just working, and I get a text from him, and he's like, hey, you have a delivery at your door. What is it, do you ask? It is a matcha and a croissant. Oh, okay. So you listen. We love that.
I just watched a video where a woman said Italian men love women, American men hate women, and she moved to Italy to find herself a man. I think there's a lot of great American men out there. Let me just say that. I'm sure she thinks that too, but she was generalizing like sometimes you have to do on these platforms. But I will say, when I started dating my Italian citizen husband, when I was 27 years old, after a life of, I was married before, I dated many people before, I will say, very relieved to meet my husband. And here's some random things on why. Okay, first, Italians are still like old school, let's say, where a man is a man takes charge, a man is confident in his decisions, a man chases after the woman, and he doesn't have any shame in it. It's almost like the old school story where if he knows he wants that woman, he's going to go after her. I find that in American culture, I think this is generational. I don't think it used to be like this. We do things like ghost each other. We cancel on each other. We're flaky. We're flighty. Guys don't want to come off too strong. They want to kind of play games. Women do the same. This is what I've discovered, an American thing. Other cultures don't do this. So when you meet somebody that doesn't do this, it's really refreshing, especially if you've been out there in the trenches for a while. They also do things like they show up well dressed. Italians, a social culture. They love talking. They love sharing. They really love engaging. So when you're on a date, they're really engaging with you and making you feel like everything you have to say is really important because they're just used to conversating really well. They are great at buying gifts. You know, the first holiday comes around, they'll buy you a really special gift. They still very much have like a romantic bone in their body. And this is always a weird one to explain to people, but Italians are actually less sensitive. Even though they talk with their hands and they get heated over the silliest things, you know, like what kind of mozzarella they're cooking with, they really aren't sensitive. So you don't get into these weird arguments or like games that you do in early relationships. These are silly things that make all the difference.
It's so interesting because in Europe dating, like the men, they love like female rage. Like when I was my most authentic self being like really bothered by everything is when the men are like, they wake up, they love that. So I think that's such a, yes. And they love older women. They're like, they don't even date a lot of men. It's like their biggest prize to have a woman in their 30s and 40s and have them be emotional and be like a full woman, like with all the emotions and like it's really wild. And here men are just kind of weird. It's just very cultural. It's weird that culture does matter. I think they love women, especially Italian men. And I feel like when I was in Serbia too, it's like I felt like the love. I was like, oh, you guys love women. This is kind of cool to date.
I've never felt disrespected by men in Eastern Europe. I only felt disrespected by men in the States. Either hit on you in a very, very dirty, disgusting, manipulative way. In Russia, never. If a guy would hit on me, I still can do business with him. Tell him like straight on, I'm sorry, I'm not interested, but I want to do business with you, and they would respect that. And also, if you tell a Russian man no, he's not going to get offended and he's not going to try to hurt you. Because Russian men, they used to hear no all the time. And here is a man terrified of hearing no. And if God forbids, they get rejected. It's weird.
Dating in America versus dating in Europe. Don't mind my manicure. I'm literally doing my makeup to go get my nails done. I'm dating a British guy right now. And I didn't think there were going to be that many differences. But here is what I found. Number one, hookup culture. In America, I found the hookup culture was really normalized. It's like extremely normal to have a bunch of different situationships that could quite possibly go on forever and lead to nowhere. I found that European guys, hookup culture still exists, but they do take women a little bit more seriously. In terms of manners, there's still some of that traditional values. A man will open a door, will not let you touch a bill. However, I do find that in America, when you have a situationship and it doesn't work out, that's the end of it. Whereas in Europe, they still stay friends with each other. It's normal to hang out as friends, even if you had a romantic connection. That one's probably been the hardest one for me to become accustomed to. But I would say one pro about American guys are more direct. In the US, you are not my boyfriend unless you say, will you be my girlfriend? So when I started dating my British boyfriend, he considered me to be his girlfriend, even when he hadn't asked me, and I had to tell him, no, you need to ask me to be your girlfriend formally. Another big difference that I found was communication style. Banter is a huge part of flirting here, whereas I don't actually know if it exists in the US. In the past, there have been times dating American men where I've tried to have banter. They just end up getting offended. But being sort of funny and satirical is a little bit part of my personality. I actually love that my boyfriend has that. Lastly, the way they dress. Being in Europe has taught me how dire American men actually dress. But you cannot just walk out in sweatpants here. A lot of the restaurants and clubs have dress codes. So the men physically won't even be allowed in unless they dress the part. Usually in something nice like loafers, cashmere. The Europeans know how to dress. That being said, no man is perfect. And I mean that. The list could go on all day, but I'm running late to my nail appointment, so wish me luck.
Because also, European men are built different than American men. Like, they treat you
better.
So much better. I mean, I don't mean to be a hater on American men because I also love
we like
American
a woman
men.
who can take a stance. Okay.
So I'll explain what he did, and then you can have all the facts and tell me if you think that's better treatment. But he used to make me breakfast in bed every morning. Oh. And I mean, I was going to be a nun, so like I wouldn't even sleep in the same bed as him. Also, they were like tiny beds, so you couldn't really. He would knock on my door every morning and say, "Little KT, it is time to get up." And he would bring a tray of breakfast. He would go to the store every day to get fresh ingredients and make lunch and dinner for us. And then every night he would write me a love letter.
I love that.
Men hate women, and when are you guys going to realize that?
This is it. This is the thing that I could not put my finger on when I moved, when I left the United States and went to Italy to date. I did that because I love Italian culture. I love the food. I love how it's slower. I love how it's more romantic. I just identify with Italian culture more, and I noticed Italian men treating me differently than American men. And this is it. Italian men love women. They love and care for women. And no, I don't mean Italian American men. I don't mean Italians who have come to the US and have been Americanized. I mean Italian men. And they love women. Yes, they might love more than one woman at once. They might lie. They might do lots of things that men do because they're men and they have faults. But they love women. And I know somebody's going to jump in here and be like, well, American women, they ruined American men because they're so masculine and they're so dominant and and they won't be submissive. Have you met Italian women? First of all, Italian culture is matriarchal. Second of all, Italian women are bold and not at all submissive. Italian women run the show, and Italian men love and care for and respect Italian women. It is so vastly different from American culture, where American men generally, culturally, hate women. I also, by the way, think this is more evidence that human beings were meant to be matriarchal by the simple fact that Italian culture is matriarchal, and the Italian men fucking love it. If women are like cats, American women are like feral cats. I was having a conversation today with an American friend of mine who is dating a Greek man. And every time we talk, we discuss the difference in treatment that we receive or have received in the past from American men compared to European men, foreign men. I recently dated a Brazilian man. The difference is stark. The bottom line is respect. There is an inherent disrespect that a lot of American men have for women, almost like a disdain, a resentment that doesn't exist as much outside of the US. I also find that outside of the US, long-term relationships are more common. Men take a lot more pride in being a family man and a provider and a protector. But for me, it never fails to shock me with the distinct difference between, if you have a fling with an American man, he treats you like garbage, like something to be used and discarded. Like my friend said, something out of some gross corn fantasy. Whereas a non-American man will still treat you with tenderness and respect, will still talk to you like an intellectual, will still enjoy your time together outside of the bedroom. It's a stark difference. And I don't know how to get it across to women who haven't experienced it, but every time we compare notes and we discuss our experiences, I can't help but feel like I'm shouting from the rooftops that y'all aren't being treated well. They're hurting you actively, corrosively, day in and day out, and it doesn't have to be that way. And the result is American women are like feral cats, and been abused and harmed and mistreated. Our claws are out, and I find it really hard to let that go, even though the men are different. There's just no getting around that. They're different.
Hey girl, do you want to know the top 5 destinations if you are a black woman dating?
So, this man mentioned in his video Croatia, Serbia, Turkey, Italy, and I have to agree with him. As a woman who left the United States, and one of my reasons for leaving was to increase my opportunities and chances for love, I can agree with every country that he mentioned. Italy is perfect, and he was very accurate. Rome and South, because North Italy is giving something a little different, and I personally didn't like it there like that. But Rome and south of Rome, excellent for black women, especially if you don't mind living with someone a little longer, because Italians are really into cohabitation. But if you're a traditional marriage-minded woman, the Balkans, Croatia, Serbia, Albania, all of those countries in the Balkans, Turkey are excellent for marriage-minded women because, one, the men are actually attracted to black women. Two, their cultures are marriage-minded cultures, and the men will marry you. 90% of all the black women that I know here living in Turkey, we have a whole little group, all booed up, all married, all engaged, all in serious relationships, and I love that for us here. So anyways, I just had to jump on and co-sign as a black woman living in Turkey, that Turkey is an amazing place, as well as the Balkans region in general, and also other places in Eastern Europe. So, girl, expand your options, get your passports, and be sure to grab a copy of my book, The Black Girl's Guide to Living, Loving, and Traveling Abroad, where I break it down in detail, because this is only a 3-minute video, but I break everything down about dating nuances, where are the best places for you to go, and just everything I think you need as a black woman to maximize your global lifestyle, including your love life. And there is absolutely no shame in wanting to travel in order to enhance your dating options. I think it's fantastic, and I'm happy that I did it. My only regret is that I did not do it sooner. If I could go back in time, I would have been left the United States and got my man early. So I hope this helps, and you all take care. Ciao.
Okay, ladies, now it's your turn. What do you guys think? European men or American men? Which one would you go for? And have you noticed any of these cultural differences in your own personal experiences? If so, I would love to hear your opinions in the comments. If you like this video and you want more breakdowns like this, dating culture, mindset tips, and more feminine videos to help you, click the subscribe button and let me know what you all would like to see next. Okay, girls, until next time, ciao.